Tarek Kabrit is the co-founder of Seez, where he helped evolve an automotive AI company from a Shazam for cars consumer app into software used by dealerships and OEMs. With that, Tarek, we're thrilled to have you on the event today, and we're looking forward to hearing your presentation.
Thanks for having me, Michael. Excited to be here. So hello, everybody. My name is Tarek. I'm the co-founder of Seez. We started out as a mobile app for buying cars and eventually evolved into a software company. We specifically work with AI solutions for car dealers. Initially, we focused on Europe, particularly in Denmark, and now we're expanding into the US market. I won't bore you much with my background and journey. I'll jump straight into what we're seeing now and what we're doing on the AI side, particularly where it relates to the automotive sector. So we felt, before I jump in, I'll just lay the ground. So basically, we felt that car dealers have gone through almost 3-4 waves of AI solutions. So the first one was, as soon as ChatGPT came about, everybody was curious about it. They wanted to try it out. So a lot of the dealers, they got the call from the CEO of the board saying, we need to do something in AI. And what happened is a lot of them went out and signed up to some AI solution, typically chatbots. And fast forward 1 year, they had to renew these contracts. So they stepped back and now they started looking at ROI. Okay, so now we tried it out for a year. Some of the solutions were gimmicky, some actually added value. So which ones actually were providing better ROI for our business? So that was the second wave almost. Then the third wave went from, having these AI solutions that are, completely separate, being, layered on top of their business, to moving deeper and deeper into their business. So becoming more integrated into their existing solutions, becoming more integrated into their infrastructure and all that. And this is the phase where we feel we are right now, at least in the automotive sector. The next phase is going to be more, deeper integration and moving into the agentic world within the ecosystem of an automotive dealership. So without further ado, we'll take you through some of the stuff we've seen on the AI front and some of the features and solutions that we've built for car dealers across the world. So the first solution we built is an AI chatbot that lives on the dealers' websites. Around 64% of dealer traffic happens after hours, after 5 p.m. and on the weekends. Typically, people, when they finish work, they go on a dealer website and they want to basically check out a car and look for a car to buy. And usually if they have any questions, they post it on the site or they try to chat with someone. Either there's no one there or they chat with a person that basically tells them, leave your name and number and someone will call you tomorrow. Sometimes they call, sometimes they don't. So it's not really the best experience. So basically what this does, it's a 24/7, almost customer service representative that lives on the dealer's website. It's trained on all the dealer's data, it's trained on all the dealer system, it's integrated into their inventory, so it can actually, look up cars for you and do all of that. So you can land on that website and ask things like, hey, my name is Tarek, I just moved to LA, I have 2 kids and a dog, and I like to go hiking. Which car should I be buying? So it actually helps you also make a decision. So beyond being a customer support representative that can answer questions like, what's your location? What's the status of the car I ordered? What are your opening hours? Do you have any special offers? That kind of stuff can actually also help you figure out which car you want. So in our example, going back to me moving to LA, it would go back and say, okay, based on your needs, these are the 7 cars from that particular dealership that we found that actually match and meet all your criteria. From there, I can compare these cars. I can check what's the closest showroom for me from my current location to go there. It's obviously integrated with all, Uber and Google Maps and all that. So you can really track how long it takes, how much it costs, what's the best route and all of that. It's even trained on the user manuals of the car. So imagine you're getting stuck at like midnight and your, lock for your Tesla is not working. Typically what do? You open the glove compartment, you go through the user manual, page 120, you watch a YouTube video, then you go back and trying to figure out what to do. With this thing, you would just go on the dealer website, check out the bot, chat with it, say, this is the car, this is my problem, and it would help guide you through that journey, even at midnight, 2 a.m., whatever you need. So typically you create this almost army of, customer support representatives, and you offer the customer a much better experience. Typically a customer, let's say you're buying a BMW, a typical journey would be you would go on the dealer's website to check out the BMW. Maybe you would go on another dealer's website, check out a Mercedes. You would go on some comparison site like Top Gear or something where you compare the cars, you watch a YouTube video, You go on Google Maps, you check out, what's the closest showroom to you. You do all these things. So suddenly, in your journey, you've gone on 7, 8 websites, and 6 out of those 7 are not the dealer's website. So now with this solution, you aggregate all that experience inside the dealer's website. So instead of me leaving 6, 7 times, I would stay at the dealer's website and I would actually do all those activities there, which in turn gives more data for that dealership. So we joke sometimes, tell the dealers historically, the way, all that data is provided through analytics and all of that. So we joke and say, typically in the past world, what you could track on your website was which buttons are being pressed, what pages are people visiting, and all of that. With these, chat solutions, for the first time now you can actually start, analyzing and searching what people are thinking, right? You can see what their concerns are. We had a lady at some point, she came on a dealer website and she wanted the car with 9 cup holders. I don't know why, but she wanted that. And she should be able to search for that. If you think about it, all, e-commerce, not just car dealers, really is driven by, drop-down menus and a few buttons. So for cars, it's typically make, model, mileage, year, price, right? And it's been the same for the last 25 years. These are the only 5 things you can search by. Again, people want to be able to talk, tell you what they want, and they should be able to get that answer. And with solutions like this, dealers can do that. It ends up, dealers end up getting around, 8 times faster than the traditional system in terms of engagement. They end up saving, $5,000 plus on customer support needs, their 24/7 availability and all that kind of stuff. The next solution is not customer facing, it's more in-house. And if you think of the customer support team of a dealership, they typically have a lot of changing information. So new offers, changes in terms and conditions, warranty changes, all of that stuff. And typically they get that information. It's digested through email, a shared platform, notifications that they receive, information that's, posted on their website or stuff like that. They have to always keep track with all that changing information. It becomes confusing. So some of them miss on some of that information. So they might give you some outdated information, and the information that's given to you through these customer support representatives sometimes is not that consistent. Some have a much better way of doing it. Others don't. So another solution that was built is a co-pilot solution internally for customer support employees. And that basically every question they receive, it gets posted into the chatbot chat, and it gives them the, I won't say the best answer, but a good answer to actually reply with that is always up to date with the most recent information, no matter where it's coming from. The data is consistent, the way it's answered is consistent, and it helps them really create that, normalcy and dynamic way of really answering all these questions on an ongoing basis. Another really interesting angle of it is, there's a lot of turnover in customer support staff, and every time a new person joins, they need to be trained, they need to be brought up to speed, and they need to learn all these things. Again, with bots like these, that really reduces that training effort and that time it takes them to really ramp up and become operational. And new staff typically end up to 3 times more inquiry volume than they do without these bots on their first week. The onboarding becomes 52% faster, and they end up resolving around 87% of all queries on the first call. So it really makes a big difference in their operational efficiency. The next solution is a lead management solution. So a lot of dealers have a big problem managing leads. So some dealers actually say that they have around 90% of their leads remain untouched. So no one checks them, no one follows up, no one engages with the customers, and it's a big loss because they spend a lot of money on that marketing. And then at the end of the day, like no one is really engaging with that. No one is making best use of it. Around 43% of dealerships have some sort of mishandled leads. Usually it either dies in the CRM, it's given to the sales guy that doesn't really, make any use of it, or really, you get this automated auto reply that none of the customers really reply to. So what we've done is we've built an AI agent, and here you start going deeper and deeper into the dealer system. So the first bot that we spoke about, the customer support that lives on the website, integrates into the inventory and some of the information. Second bot integrates into the various information sources for the dealerships, whether it's email, internal network, and all of that. Here you start integrating deeper and deeper where you need to go into the CRM system. So you really need to be able to see what leads are popping up there. You need to be able to, record leads there, delete, edit, and do all of that kind of stuff. So what this bot does is it takes the leads that are coming in from ads, social media, website, anywhere, even the existing CRM, and it engages with them. So and the messages that are sent out can be multi-channel. So it can be on website, email, chat, obviously, SMS, anything really. And basically, it engages with a very specific, personalized, custom message. So it's really specific to the car you like, any details you've left behind. And unlike typical CRMs where you get this one-sided, inbound emails going out, with this, you can actually have a conversation and say, okay, yeah, I like this car that you just asked me about, but I was also thinking about this other car. Do you have any offers there? Is it easy to resell later if I buy it? So it's really, you can have a full conversation with that chatbot where it guides you through that journey, and it typically ends with you booking a test drive. That test drive also is integrated back into the dealer system, and you can go and carry that out. Obviously that reduces a lot of time for salespeople where they don't have to do a lot of that work. They end up selling more cars just because they're engaging with a lot of the leads that no one was typically talking to. The speed of engagement is obviously faster. So 52% of the appointments are booked within 15 minutes of the initiation of that chat. So it's a very efficient tool, and it's one of those tools that has a very clear ROI. You can basically, implement it, measure it for a month or two. You know how much you're paying for it. You can just see how many test drives were booked and how many cars were sold through that platform. So it's one of those SaaS solutions that is really easy to measure with ROI. Similar solution, but on the other side of the business is one for the after sales. So it's one that basically helps you book a car service. And
thank you for that fantastic presentation, Tarek. For everyone listening in live, you have a Q&A box in front of you. Any questions that you have for Tarek, type them into the Q&A box, and we'll get to as many of those as we can on the upcoming Q&A session coming up at the top of the hour.